Good evening. Tonight we have a very serious topic. Viewer discretion is advised. Again, we have a very serious topic here on tonight's episode of Keeping It Real with Alex Cardinale. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everyone. Welcome to an all-new episode of Keeping It Real with me, Alex Cardinale. Tonight, we have a topic that most people usually don't cover. It is a very controversial topic, but it's also a very important topic at that. Today, we're going to talk about suicide. More importantly, we're going to talk about suicide prevention and suicide awareness. Did you know that over 700,000 people all around the world have committed suicide? Did you know that most suicides can be prevented? There are ways that we can stop suicides, and that's what this live stream is for. I hope with this live stream, we can learn how to prevent suicides and keep people with us. Sometimes people, when they reach rock bottom and they are in dire strength and they hit their lowest, they feel so depressed and they feel that they have nothing else they can do but commit suicide. But with love of family and friends, hopefully we can turn that around. Now, personally speaking, I can't recall ever being affected by suicide, but I know a few people who have lost family and friends to suicide. And then, of course, there's all the celebrities that we lost to suicide. We lost Robin Williams, for example, to suicide. And just recently, a golfer, a PGA golfer, committed suicide. So suicide happens on a daily basis, unfortunately, but there are ways that we can prevent and stop suicide. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to give you the definition of what suicide is. We'll learn about the most common warning signs of suicides, and we'll learn how to prevent suicides. It's going to be a short but informal video, and I hope you all enjoy it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please post them down in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this show started right now. And we're going to start with some statistics on suicide. So, here are some suicide statistics. So, suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the United States of America. In 2022, 49,476 Americans died by suicide. In 2022, there were an estimated 1.6 million suicide attempts. The age-adjusted suicide rate in 2022 was 14.21 per 100,000 individuals. In 2022, men died by suicide 3.85 times more than women. So almost 4% more than women, men died. Men have hard lives, ladies and gentlemen. White males accounted for 68.46, almost 69% of suicide death in 2022. In 2022, firearms accounted for 54.64% of all suicide deaths. So more than half of the suicide deaths were caused by guns. 94% of adults surveyed in the United States of America think suicide can be prevented. And it absolutely can be prevented. So those stats are alarming. A lot of people feel they have no choice but to take their life. It's sad and it's unfortunate. So hopefully with today's episode, we can prevent some people from taking their life. So let's get into some information on suicide. What exactly is suicide? There is a lot more to know about suicide than it being someone killing themselves. Suicide is death caused by self-inflicted injury with the intent to die. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States of America. One person dies by suicide about every 11 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. So every 11 minutes, someone has committed suicide. It is the second leading cause of death among people ages 10 to 34. The fourth leading cause of death among people ages 34 to 54. And the fifth leading cause of death among people ages 45 to 54. So, unfortunately, a lot of the teenage suicide death can be attributed to bullying because as kids enter the teen years, some of the kids can be really brutal bullies. And the victims that get bullied feel so low about themselves, they commit suicide. That is why it is so high in the age range between 10 and 34-year-olds, because there's a lot of teenagers that off themselves because they get bullied and they just can't handle it anymore, unfortunately. And then you have your 34 to 54. That would be your middle age range, where it could be breakups, it could be divorce, financial issues, and the same could be said for 45 to 54-year-olds. Now, you notice I did not mention any senior citizen ages, because they know better than to kill themselves. Groups of people who have higher rates of suicide include American Indian, Alaskan Natives, and non-Hispanic white people, veterans, rural dwellers, young people who are either lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. Those are the groups of people who have higher rates of suicide. What are the situations, risk factors that could lead someone to consider suicide? Although you may not know what might cause a friend or a loved one to attempt suicide, there are at least some common characteristics to be aware of. Known factors that increase an individual's risk of suicide include individual factors. They have attempted suicide in the past. They have a mental health condition such as depression and mood disorders, schizophrenia, and anxiety disorders. They have long-time pain or a disabling or terminal illness. Now, if they have a terminal illness, suicide is almost understandable at that point. They express feelings of hopelessness. They have money or legal problems. They have violent or impulsive behavior. They have alcohol or other substance abuse problems. They have easy access to self-harm methods, such as guns or medications. They have relationship factors, and they may also have committed a crime. Those are all of the factors that may lead someone into committing suicide. Those are the individual factors. Now let's take a look at the relationship factors. They have a history of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, or neglect or bullying. They have lost relationships through breakup, divorce, or death. They have a family history of death by suicide. And if there is a history of death by suicide in the family, it goes up slightly, especially if it's a parent. They are socially isolated and they lack support. They have community, cultural, or societal factors. They are often ashamed to ask for help, especially help for mental health conditions. They lack access to healthcare services, especially mental health and substance abuse treatment. They hold cultural or religious belief that suicide is a novel option to resolving a personal dilemma. They have become aware of an increased number of local suicides or an increase in media coverage of deaths by suicide. Those are the relationship factors that might lead someone to commit suicide. All right, so that's some information on suicide. Now we're going to learn about the most common warning signs of suicide. What are some of the most common suicide warning signs? Some of the more common warning signs that a person may be thinking of ending their life include being sad or moody. The person has long-lasting sadness and mood swings. Depression is a major risk factor for suicide. Sudden calmness. The person suddenly becomes calm after a period of depression or moodiness. Withdrawing from others. The person chooses to be alone and avoids friends or social activities. They also lose interest or pleasure in activities they previously enjoyed. They have changes in personality, appearance, or their sleep pattern. The person's attitude or behavior changes, such as speaking or moving with unusual speed or slowness. Also, they suddenly become less concerned about their personal appearance. They sleep much more or much less than typical for that person. They start showing dangerous or self-harmful behavior. The person engages in potentially dangerous behavior, such as driving recklessly, having unsafe sex, or increasing their use of drugs and/or alcohol. Experience recent trauma or life crisis. This could be a huge reason why someone would consider suicide. Example of these crises would include the death of a loved one. It could be the death of a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, an aunt, an uncle, or a husband or wife, or the death of a pet. It could also be a divorce or breakup of a relationship, because it does suck when you're married to someone and you end up getting a divorce. It could be a diagnosis of a major illness, such as cancer. It could be the loss of a job. Let's say that you have a career as a executive and you lose it. Well, you basically just almost lost your life, unfortunately. Or serious financial problems. Those are the examples of recent trauma or life crisis. Now, someone that is going through a trauma or life crisis and they are contemplating suicide, what they really need is comfort from a loved one. That comfort can come from a best friend or it could come from a family member. But a person that suffered a big loss that caused trauma or a life crisis is very quick to act. So they need someone in their life right away when they start feeling suicidal. So it's always best to be with someone that has mental issues, because they might not handle a death as well as someone else would. So it's always important to be by their side. Another example and another sign that someone could be in suicide preparations is that they become in a state of deep despair. The person talks about feeling hopeless, having no reason to live, being a burden to others, feeling trapped, or being in severe emotional pain. That could be a really big sign that they're thinking about suicide. They could also be making preparations. The person begins to put their personal businesses in order. This might include visiting friends and family members, giving away personal possessions, making a will, and cleaning up their room or home. Often the person will search online for ways to die or to buy a gun. Some people will write a note before attempting suicide. Now, obviously, if you see someone that you love and know very well, visiting friends and family members a lot, especially giving away their prized personal possessions, especially making a will, then you know something is not right and you need to speak with that person right away. Another sign that someone is contemplating suicide is when they openly say it. Sometimes they might threaten suicide or they might talk about wanting to die. Not everyone who is considering suicide will say it, and not everyone who threatens suicide will follow through with it. However, every threat of suicide should be taken seriously. So if you have a friend that's telling you they're feeling suicidal, stop what you're doing, listen to them, make them important, and let them voice out what's really bothering them in their lives and give them your full attention and your full support. When you give someone who's going through a hard time your full support and your love, it shows that you care for them. And people who are suicidal, that's exactly what they need. All right. So our next topic is going to be a little bit tough for some people to hear. So viewer discretion is definitely advised. And the question is, how do people commit suicide? What are the methods that people use to commit suicide? And based on my research, there are 3 ways that suicide is committed. And we're going to talk about how to prevent that from happening. There's actually 4 ways because this is from the state of Florida. But other states, there's 3. But in the state of Florida or any tropical state that has nice weather year-round, there's going to be 4 methods that people use. So the first method is shooting. People will get a gun and they will shoot themselves to commit suicide. Then there's hanging. They will hang themselves by a noose. So definitely a very awful way to go. They will poison themselves to death. They will take too much medication, or they will take household products like bleach. And then drowning. They will purposely drown themselves in a pool of water, such as a pool or a lake. So, how do we prevent these methods, and how do we stop people from committing suicide? Do not have a gun around a mentally ill person. Whether they have bipolar or depression, do not let them have access to a firearm whatsoever. Hanging really can't be prevented because we can't be in someone's room 24/7. But if you keep an eye on them, you can keep a lookout for signs that they may be considering hanging themselves. Poisoning, leave pills away, have a nurse come to the house and give that person their medication, and keep household products away from them. And drowning, simple, is to keep them away from water. Don't let them go swimming in a pond, a lake, or a pool when you think they are feeling suicidal. So that is very important to know for this show, and that is why I am including it in our show this evening. All right. So right now we're going to take a quick intermission. During this intermission, you're going to hear about a couple of special upcoming episodes. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what you need to do when you or someone you know is feeling suicidal. And I'm also going to discuss how we and help people who are feeling suicidal. This special episode of Keeping It Real continues right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got some more great information coming your way next. The next Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale airs live this Saturday, June 8th, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I have another action-packed Saturday Live coming your way on June 8th. The animal of the week will be the rhinoceros. Learn about the rhinoceros on the next episode of Saturday Live. The Oasis Aquatics featured fish will be the stirby Corydoras. Aqua Alex will feature 2 fish species. Aqua Alex will feature the Rummy-Nose Tetra and the Festivum Cichlid. Alex Cardinale will have facts on YouTube and Yankee Stadium. South Florida local business will be Green Acres Bowl. Plus, Alex answers your burning questions and more, including Karens of the Week and funny videos. Don't miss the next Saturday live this Saturday, June 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale, and Twitch, Real Alex Cardinale 1993.
Alex Cardinale invites you to the 100th episode of Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale. The 100th Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale airs Saturday, June 29, 2024 at a special start time of 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a party and lots of fun to celebrate 100 episodes of Saturday Live. 100th Saturday Live is being sponsored by Oasis Aquatics, and there will be an Oasis Aquatics giveaway. 1 fish keeper will walk away with a special prize. There will also be an Oasis Aquatics store tour. Aqua Alex welcomes 2 fish keepers to the party as special guests. Jeremy Lady and Brandon King will chat fish keeping with Aqua Alex on 100th Saturday Live. Plus, special cameo appearances. Chef Alex will be on hand to make homemade red velvet cake perfect for 4th of July festivities. All that and more. 100 Saturday Live airs Saturday, June 29, 2024 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale.
All right, welcome back to a serious episode of Keeping It Real with Alex Cardinale. And now we're going to get right back into it. And now let's discuss what to do when you are feeling suicidal or you know someone who is feeling suicidal. So, if you are feeling suicidal, reach out to a loved one. It could be a friend or a family member. They will help you, and they will help you get out of your situation that you are in. You can message your friends and family with these examples. I know all of us have Facebook Messenger. We all have Instagram, which also has Messenger on it. And we all have smartphones, so we can all text each other. But if you're feeling suicidal or you know someone who is feeling suicidal, they can send a text that says something like this. When you get a chance, can you contact me? I feel really alone and suicidal and can use support. Or, I don't want to die, but I don't know how to live. Talking with you may help me feel safe. Are you free to talk? But you could also say, this is really hard for me to say, but I am having painful thoughts. And it might help to talk. Are you free? But if you don't want to mention that you're feeling suicidal, you can say something really simple like this. I'm struggling right now and just need to talk to someone. Can we chat? And the person that loves you would probably be more than willing to hear what you have to say, and they will be comforting to you, and that'll make you feel a little bit better. But anyone that feels suicidal should always seek some professional help so that they can better themselves and never have to worry about feeling suicidal ever again. Now, can suicide be prevented? Yes. Yes, suicide can be prevented. In many cases, Suicide can't be prevented. The best way you can help prevent suicide is to learn the risk factors for suicide. Be alert to the signs of depression and other mental health conditions. Recognize suicide warning signs. Provide caring support. Ask directly if the person has considered hurting themselves. People who receive support from caring friends and family and who have access to mental health services are less likely to act on their suicidal impulses than are those who are isolated from support. So, as a person, it is always important to know that friends and family will always have your back. So, if you are feeling suicidal, reach out to someone. They will help you. I guarantee it. All right. So, here is how we can help with someone we think is feeling suicidal. How to help. What should I do if someone I know is talking about suicide? If your friend or loved one is not in immediate danger, but is talking about suicide and is showing risk factors for harming themselves, take them seriously. If you can, remove any objects that can be used in a suicide attempt. Encourage them to call or call together support services such as your state's suicide and crisis lifeline. On the suicide and crisis lifeline, there is skilled professional trained counselors who are there to help you, and it is totally free of charge, and it is confidential. Conversations are with a skilled, trained counselor and are absolutely free and confidential, and they are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So a suicide hotline is going to be your best bet. They're going to help you, and they're going to get you through it. Now, if the friend or loved one appears to be extremely distressed, don't leave the person alone. Try to keep the person as calm as possible and get immediate help. Call 911 or take the person to an emergency room. So, other common sense for how to help someone that is suicidal includes be understanding, understand what they are going through. Don't judge them because judging them will not help them. Like I said earlier in the show, they could have lost a parent or a pet, or they could be going through a divorce or a bad breakup. You just never know what someone is going through that could lead them to commit suicide. But just be understanding, understand what they're going through, offer your support and your condolences. Be caring and be compassionate. Being caring and being compassionate will show them that you truly understand and know how they feel, and you're showing affection towards them. Tell the person you understand how they feel and that you love them, and hug the person. That'll make them feel a lot better. And also, never be afraid to get them help. Call 911, and 911 will get them the right help that they need. So that is how we can prevent suicide. That is suicide prevention and awareness. I actually came up with this show the moment I heard about the PGA golfer who committed suicide, and I said, maybe I should do an episode talking about suicide prevention and awareness so that maybe I could be a little bit positive in this world. Maybe I can prevent someone from committing suicide. Well, I hope you found this episode informal, and I hope it helps stop people from committing suicide. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. And if you found this video informal, please be sure to share it on social media. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of Keeping It Real. Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much for watching this livestream of the Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you all for your patronage for the last 10 years. It's going to be incredible riding into the future with more awesome live streams and videos. Aqua Alex Cardinale, Chef Alex Cardinale, WWE fan Alex Cardinale, Detective Alex Cardinale, and the Real Alex Cardinale would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this live stream, please smash that like button. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and become a legendary viewer and a legendary Cardinale. Check out the Real Alex Cardinale on social media. Facebook Alex Cardinale, American Alex. Instagram instagram.com/Alex Cardinale 93. Fish keepers, please join our amazing Facebook fish keeping group Aquarium Obsession. Check out and support Oasis Aquatics, our amazing supporter since July of 2023. www.oasisaquaticsnj.com. Follow Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram. Have a good night and thanks for watching. Stay legendary.